Buenos días, buenas noches, buenas tardes a las todos. For whatever part of the world you're watching this from. But hello, everybody. Hola, konnichiwa. Uh, so, and
Guten
welcome.
Tag.
Yes, guten tag. And welcome to another rendition of Los Lobos de la Lucha, your weekly CMLL review show here on the BC WrestlePod podcasting network conglomeration syndicate Twitch YouTube thing. We do pretty much almost every single day of the week on except for Thursdays because forget Thursdays except for next week. I am one of
Thursday.
your hosts. Yeah. Well, I'm one of your hosts, Mikey. Joining me this evening is my other nerdy Puerto Rican Boricua brother himself, Mr. Adolfo. I am so happy that you are here this evening.
Thank you, thank you. Saludos, mi gente.
Hey. And then, of
Ready?
course, our unofficial host with us tonight, also Agent
Agent
Lo-Fi, the
Lo-Fi. Whoop,
Lo-Fi of
whoop, whoop,
agents.
whoop.
Homie to the channel. Love him very much. Unfortunately, we are still without our gaijin to the Lucha Libre world of Papa Oso himself, Will, who will be back in 2 weeks. He will be back here in 2 weeks. He is the Flip Gordon of our review squad.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Be like, he loves us. He loves Lucha Libre. He is a white man, but he is putting in the work to be really cool about it. So he is our Flip Gordon, and we miss him dearly. But I am super excited. I'm excited to talk about this episode of Viernes Espectacular, and I cannot wait because we have lots of news stuff related to CMLL.
Yeah.
CMLL is just on and popping right now. Like it is about to get crazy over the next, May and June and all the other stuff that is probably going to happen during the summer, which I'm excited for, which we'll get to at the end of the show. But before we get into all of this, if you like what you see on the screen, but or not, we love you either way. And if you want to leave us praise or hate comments, you are more welcome to do either, both on the YouTube and the Twitch page, or you can follow us on all our social medias. Literally go on any social media site, and you can pretty much find us at PC WrestlePod. We have Facebook, we're on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, you know, TikToks, the things we got it. Don't have a Snapchat yet because that's very questionable, but who knows? We might see. And of course, we have some merchandise. I'm so excited. This is going to be a fun one. It's going to be good. Okay, now that I got all the boss out of the way, let us get into it.
Let's do it.
So, also, Agent Lo-Fi doing the Lord's work out here. He's going to be watching us and watching Informa too as it goes back and forth between the both of us. So, Agent Lo-Fi, we are here for the commentary and any news that you can possibly give us. So, thank you, my friend.
Yep.
All right, let's do this because this is going to be a fun one. So, once again, we are talking about Viernes Espectacular, which is the Friday show that CMLL does for the CMLL Uninitiative, if you will. And let's just get into it because we kicked things off this past Friday with, of course, what we always know are usually known for in our openers is a 3-on-3 match or a Relevos Australiano match. And this time, we had the team of Valiente Jr., Oro Jr., and Electrico taking on the team of Disturbio, Inquisidor, and Hunter. That's the most English sounding name of all these six of these.
Yeah. Yeah. Valiente Jr., Oro Jr., and Electro are your technicals, and Disturbio, Inquisidor, and Hunter are your rulos in this match. Kind of bummed because Inquisidor, when he came out, he didn't have like the full regala with the oversized Pope hat situation.
Boo! Wendy
So
Testaburger, boo!
yeah, right, right. Boo that man. But on the bright side, we had our favorite abuelo referee, Adolfo Bestia Negra. Uh, don't know why he would be my favorite, but he was holding it down for the refs. Um, y- so yeah, we have a relevo australiano, de uno caída, the one fall. Um, the match started out with Valiente Jr. and Hunter. They went in, uh, did their thing, did some mat tactician stuff. Then we had Inquisidor y Oro Jr. Um, they had their moment to shine, if you will. Then we had Disturbio and Electrico in. Then that's when the Rudos really started working really well together. Um, they did this really cool where one tossed Oro Jr. Into the corner, and then they set up for a synchronized like triple kick on Oro Jr. It was really cool. Um, Disturbio starts going for Valiente Jr.'s mask. So that was a thing. But then Valiente Jr. decides to put on a clinic and clears house. And we have a 1, 2, 3 Valiente Jr. Pinning Disturbio. So we have a Triunfo Técnicos, or the Técnicos get the win.
Yes, they do. So, I want to bring up Agent Lo-Fi's comment too, because I also have to agree with him. Valiente Jr. once
Yep.
again a big standout.
Yep.
He's been on another level lately.
Yep. Yeah. It really it I'm I'm kind of hesitant to say this, but I'm gonna say it. Really seemed like it was the Valiente Junior show in this match. Almost as if like, I mean, Oro Junior and Electrico had like their little spots, but like you know, Valiente Junior was the one that was really doing all the heavy lifting for the technicals. So I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I mean, everything he did looked great, and yeah, he was on another level. But you know, you got a team behind you. So, what'd you think, Mikey?
Absolutely. So again, I thought this match was a lot of fun. I do have to agree with you, Adolfo, in the sense that in terms of the technical side, I think this was what's the best term to use for it? I mean, they were working as a team, but it also definitely felt like these are three individuals who are thrown together for the sake of a trios.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you that Valiente Jr. probably was the big standout, and then this was more focused on him in terms of the technical sides. So it was more him coming in for all that stuff. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
agreed. Valiente kind of felt above the guys in ranking, so to speak. I think so too. So this was definitely a big showcase for him. I still enjoyed the whole match as an entirety of a 3-on-3.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Valiente definitely led the charge for most of this.
Yep. Definitely.
But hey, this was a great opener. I thought it was fantastic. Everybody did a great job. And again, it sets the mood for what was to come because man, this like I say every week, they took care of business this week because we are setting things up down the line, which is going to be crazy.
Yep.
So let's get into our next match of the evening, which was another Relevo Australiano match. This time, a dos o tres caídas.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the team of Explosivo, Star Black, and Fugaz, taking on the team of Infarto, Crixis, and Craneo. Adolfo's favorite person right now, or one of them, I should say. Yep, get it, get it, get it.
Get it. Ah, so good. He's so good. Yeah, so Craneo, Crixus, and Infarto are your rudos in this match. Explosivo, Starblack, and Fugaz are your technicals for this match. Fuerza Tapatia, Explosivo, Starblack, and Fugaz are known as. So in our first fall, we had Crixus and Explosivo. They started off, which then switched over to Fugaz and Infarto, and then Granio and Star Black. Uh, to The end of our first fall saw Explosivo pinning Crixus and Fugaz pinning Infarto for a Triunfo Técnico for a technical win. Um, it was a beautiful synchronized like double pin setup, where it was like a double power bomb type situation. It was really cool. I love it when they do that. But then our second fall, the Technicos looked like they were going to take an early lead, but the Rudos did come back. Crixus did this. Uh, Crixus just took Fugaz and did just tossed him like a lawn spear. It was crazy how strong Crixus is. Holy cow. Um, Cranio used his weaponized ass and unleashed it on Explosivo and Fugaz. Um, and
We're
it
gonna
was,
put that on a t-shirt now.
yeah, weaponized ass. I mean, it's you know the stereotypical like hip toss into the face, but like you know he got all of it in there. So, and this set up Infarto and Cranio to pin Explosivo and Fugaz. So for our second fall, we had Triunfo Rudo going into not IWJP. That's not what I want. Going into our third fall, uh, Rudos stay in control early. We see Infarto and Crisis just dropping Fugaz on Cranio's knee that looked raw. Um, yeah, that was a rough one. Star Black decides to wake up the Technicals uh, and clears out Crucis and Cranio. Venos Explosivo uh, hits a drop kick as well that takes out um, Cranio and Crucis. Technicals do their beautiful top ring routines where we get the moonsaults to the outside and then a tope to the outside. Explosivo ends up pinning Infarto, so we have a triunfo técnico. So our technical team is the winner in this match. Mikey, what'd you think?
So I think in terms of this one, I think this was whereas I previously stated where in the previous, Relevo Australiano match that we got that opened up the show, we got this was more of like a cohesion between all three members from each side, and
Yeah,
it's more so evenly distributed, if that makes any sense.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Star Black has kind of grown on me. I've been loving his athleticism as of late, and just the bigger risks that he's taking.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm also with you. Neo may also be my favorite too in this whole thing.
Yeah, it early on he was really getting beat on, and I was feeling really bad for him. I was gonna call it supernatural animal abuse on the Technicos on
No.
Porco. But yeah, also again, Grixis is a beast, but he's agile too. I you know I,
Mhm.
I feel
That
like
whole that
I
whole
feel like the
entire team is crazy.
yeah, I feel like the NFL needs to go down to Mexico and have like their strength and conditioning coaches spend a time in Mexico with a bunch with all these luchadors because these guys are big. I mean, they're big, like they're like linebacker defensive line big, but they can move and fly.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Bringing in our unofficial host, Agent Lo-Fi is a big fan of Infarto, but watching him killing it for years, for years. So I'm just like, that's another one too. Infarto is also really great as well.
Yeah. Hmm. Yep.
But again, this was just I say this for every match every Friday, and I feel like I'm a broken record, but like when it's good, you guys. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
I
Like,
mean, pretty much. Yeah, it was really entertaining. It kept you hooked till the very end. Um, especially getting that payoff of seeing the technicals go up and do the synchronized move flips and the tope in the middle, and just like with the camera angle, so it catches everyone going at the same time. So good.
it really, really is. Again, this was another fun match. It was super exciting, and this was definitely a good way. But now let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this episode, what would make up a majority of this. We
Yup.
are still in the middle of these elimination style matches, getting ready for the Universal Championship, if you will. So let's get into the first one because this was, you know, this I'm like I am at a loss for words. Every single one of these elimination style matches were just so darn good.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, they were all great. But to kind of set it up for everyone, this is the first of 3 elimination matches we were getting in different divisions. But this was for those English speakers, this is, the lightweight champions elimination match, 1-on-1. But for those of us who speak the Spanish, this is por el Campeonato Universal 2025 mano y mano. And this saw our world champion in Stigma taking on the Mexican national champion in Rayo Metalico. This was so damn good. Like, honestly.
Yeah, I'll admit, like, the first bit of this match, and I'm probably alone on my island, and that's fine. But the first little bit of the match, I was kind of like meh, and then they really like turned the burners on and just started to cook, and it got really good. So yeah, so we got Stigma versus Real Metallico. Real Metallico looks like he takes an early lead um, on Stigma, really dominating him. He hits a beautiful moon flip on Stigma, uh, and something of note, which you can kind of see in the picture, but it doesn't do it justice. Um, that Stigma is like bigger, a lot bigger than Rayo Metallico. But then on the flip side, Rayo Metallico is a lot more agile and does a lot more um, sky moves than Stigma. So it was interesting seeing Rayo Metallico being able to keep down Stigma during the first part of the match. But Stigma starts brawling his way back. He gets Rayo Metallico. Um, outside of the ring, tosses him into barricade. Uh, he hits Real Metallico with a crossbody, um, and then he puts Stigma puts Real Metallico in a crossface submission hold. Real Metallico tries to reverse it, but Stigma is able to come back. That's when Real Metallico is able to reach the ropes, so we get a rope break. Then we get Stigma hitting this. I keep forgetting the name of the driver, but the one where he's holding Real Metallico on the side, and then they do the flip together off the corner of
Right.
the mat
Mm-hmm.
um onto the floor. It was crazy. Then they both get back into the ring. Uh, Real Metallico hits Stigma with a lanza. Stigma hits Real Metallico with a brain buster. Both get up up to the top turnbuckle. But Real Metallico pulls Stigma's feet out from under him, and then does another lanza, but like right on his head, while Stigma was like hanging from the corner. But in the end, we have Stigma, um, who is able to, yeah. Uh, sorry, my notes is like worse than doctor's writing. Stigma he's able to hit a frog splash onto Real Metallico. There was actually a series that he built up to the frog splash, which was really cool. But Stigma hits this frog splash on Real Metallico, and we get the 1, 2, 3 triunfo. Stigma, he moves on to the next round. Mikey, what do you think?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna talk about this, and then we got a lot of information from Agent Lo-Fi. Thank you for watching the Informa for us. But I thought this was a really fantastic match. I'm not gonna lie. I agree with you in the sense that it took a couple of minutes for me to get into it, but when they hook, line, and sinkered me, I was invested until the very end. And I am kind of happy to see Stigma. really show up and show out. And since we've been covering CMLL too, I feel that he has also been somebody who has like improved. And I think this is
Mm,
probably his best match to date, regardless if it's been him by himself or if he was involved in a trio. I think this is
okay.
a really strong showing for him, which Agent Lo-Fi also agrees too.
Yep.
Speaking of which, with these elimination matches, though, Informa confirmed that there will be three-way matches with eliminations, and the winners of those three-way matches move on to the three-way final on April 25th.
Wow. Wow.
Also, I was gonna
That's
wait
hot.
until the very end, but I'm also very excited. On Forma, they also announced the first match for Fantastica Mania in June. It is going to be Titan Shingo Takagi and Hiromu Takahashi versus Templario, TJP, and Francisco Akira. So United
Nice.
Empire versus La
Versus
Facción de Ingornable de Japón.
Japón.
Japón, which is great. Shout out to Titan and Templario about to bring in the boys from Japan. But honestly, TJP and CMLL is kind of a dream. Like
Yeah,
honestly,
right.
see
Right.
him go flying. But Shingo and Hiromu Takahashi, that's wild.
Right. Stay on target, Mikey. Stay on
Stay
target.
on target.
We
Staying
can
on
talk about that
target.
at the end.
This match was great. I loved it. This was the first of 3 total elimination style matches we were getting. So let us talk about the next one because I was not sure how we were gonna do this, but this is a relevo sencillo match. This happens to have the the trios championships. I was like, okay, so we got to pick 2 people to be in here. So that's cool. So this elimination match saw Mephisto and Euphoria taking on Max Star and Futuro. So, as I mentioned before, this is the Trios Championship elimination. So Mephisto and Euphoria, for those of you who are unaware, are the world champions, while Futuro and Max Star are the Mexican national trios champions, or at least
Yeah.
2/3 of it, anyways.
Yeah, just so the Mephisto and Euphoria, their faction or their trio, if you will, they're called the Los Infernales. They are missing Averno, and then Maxstar and Futuro, they are missing Neon.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name of their trio. So,
That is all. Yes, me too. But this was a banger.
okay.
Kind of.
Um,
Well, I
so
say that on
well,
paper
no.
it was a banger. By the end of this, though, I was like, I feel like something was missing for me.
So I was all right. Let's go over the match first. So yeah. So this is a relevo senseo. So what that means is that you have to pin both people from the other team, either pin or submit both people on the other team. So if you haven't seen, Futuro and Maxstar are super high flyers, right? I mean, I feel like they do some of the more crazier um, uh, flying off the third. Um, Hombre Bala, my bad. So and then Mephisto and Euphoria, they're just beasts. They're big boys. They're beasts, right? So yeah, so on paper, it was looking very interesting to see how this panned out. So the match started with Euphoria and Futuro, then it switched to Mephisto and Max Star, and then the Technicos seemed to really take control on Euphoria and Futuro, and that's kind of like the way the match went was Mephisto and Euphoria just kind of like soaking up all the damage that Max Star and Futuro was tossing out at them. Because Max Star and Futuro, they were hitting them with topes, they were hitting them with lanzas, they were hitting them with the the 450 flips off the top ropes, and Mephisto and Euphoria just like soaking all that damage up. And then at the end, you had Euphoria and Futuro uh they were up on the top corners, and Max Star and Euphoria were climbing to get to hit them with a finisher, but then Mephisto and Euphoria are able to reverse it on Max Star and Futuro and drop them with a with power bombs from the top rope or from the top turnbuckle, and you get the 1, 2, 3. So Los Infernales end up getting the win in this match, which I didn't mind seeing Los Infernales get the win. I have said this before in other reviews for other companies and whatnot. I'm not a big fan of like the one and done, where the opponent is just getting beat on and beat on and beat on, and then all of a sudden they hit one move and then that's it, which this kind of felt like to me. So that was my disappointment with this match. Mephisto and Euphoria, I love them for what they did in the match. Um, they were great. There were some spots where they were able to bully Maxstar and Futuro. Maxstar and Futuro are beautiful in the air. I mean, they're amazing. So the match is enjoyable to watch. Just had that disappointment in it for me.
That is very fair.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, Agent Love Fight. I kind of like that they let the Flippy Boys do all the Flippy things they wanted,
Yes.
which is
Yep.
very
Yep.
true too.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Flippy
It
Boys got to do all the Flippy things.
it almost felt like in cheerleading, you have what's
Are
called an anchor,
Are you about to
right?
tell me you did cheerleading? Because I would be so
No,
impressed if you did.
I did not, because
Damn it.
unfortunately the high school I went to didn't have a co-ed cheer team. Actually, no, they did, but I wrestled, so and that
Hey,
was going on
that's
at the
even
same time.
better.
Yeah. So, anyway, so in co-ed cheerleading, the bigger human is normally the anchor that the smaller human will like use as a base to like to toss them and to like land and catch and this, that, and the other. And that's kind of what it felt like Mephisto and Euphoria were kind of doing all match while Max Star and Futuro were doing their all the flippy things. They were kind of just like being their bases, their anchors, and doing the things. So yeah, I'm done.
You are never done. I'm just kidding. No, again, on paper, when I saw this, I was like, "Ooh, this should be a fun match." And by the end of it, I was like, I still had fun. I kind of wish it was a little bit more even, but hey, you know what? Big boys bullying the flippy dippy dudes. It makes sense in my book, but yeah, I kind of want a little bit more. Still fun though.
Yeah.
But Mephisto and Euphoria are moving on. Again, I'm very interested how this three-way elimination is going to pan out. Um, Especially when you throw in the tag teams and all that other goodness that we're getting to. But let's get into the final elimination style match of the evening. And we go from our trios. So we go from our trios. We go back into some singles action in terms of the elimination match because next up,
Big man meat, slapping man meat.
listen, this was the big boy
Loved it.
match.
This
This was
was
the big boy match. Oh,
yes, loved
this
it,
was probably my favorite thing of the whole night. Not even gonna lie.
loved it,
I
loved it.
love me big boys in general, but this was a great big boy match. But this was the heavyweight championship elimination, saw Gran Guerrero, which is our world champion, taking on the newly minted Mexican national champion of Akuma.
Yep,
Big boys doing big boy things, and I love watching big boys fight. Like,
yep. And so I'm not even going to go through my notes in this, right?
agreed, Agent Lo-Fi. Like, no contest. By far the best match. This was my match of the
Yeah,
night too.
this was good. You could tell that these two were going hard because this is the first lucha match I've seen where the wrestlers like had to like stop and like catch their breaths, you know, and then continue on. And these guys were just laying heavy into each other. I mean, from the get-go, they, they tried to shoulder block each other and just bounced off each other. Then they did like a synchronized cross-body thing into each other. You had Gran Guerrero getting into our uh, our referee, Guerrero Noriega's face the whole match long. Um, you had a lot of really hard fought 1-2 oohs. For a bit there, I thought Gran Guerrero was gonna like just mop the floor with Akuma. I was like, dude, what's going on? But Akuma came back, and it wasn't like the stereotypical, oh my god, it's a big flurry type thing that Akuma comes back. It was just slow, methodical, in the same vein, not the same style, but in the same vein of the Gabe Kidd Tomohiro Ishii match from the last NJPW special, the Windy City Riot, right? If you don't like watching a slobber knocker type match, then this match definitely isn't for you. This is your match to go to the bathroom. But if you enjoy watching two wrestlers, two luchadors, beat each other artistically and beautifully, this was the match for you. Definitely my match of the night.
100% agree. And Agent Lo-Fi brings up something that I also found kind of interesting too. That the build for this match was also great. They didn't hate each other. They just wanted to prove that big boys can go. And
Yeah.
by George, they showed that big boys can go. I love this. I have stated that Gran Guerrero has become a very big favorite of mine in terms of the big boys on here on CMLL. But also, just the amount of momentum that Akuma has gotten over the last 2-3 weeks leading into this too has been crazy. You
Yep.
know, he ended up being in a multi-person match, which led him to the following week, which is winning the championship. And now he is in the elimination match for this episode. And not only that, he wins and he's moving on to the next
Yep.
to the three-way elimination matches. And who knows, he might end up in the grand finale on 25th. We'll have to find out with all of this, but hot damn.
The other cool thing about these two big boys, they don't fly like your smaller luchadors, but they do fly. We had Akuma. He hit Gran Guerrero with a moonsault. He hit Gran Guerrero with a tope. Gran Guerrero, he did his whole coming in and flying from running off the ramp and then flying and doing the words line.
Rope,
Um,
turnbuckle, thing, fly,
uh,
onomatopoeia.
uh, anyway, he's agile too. Again, NFL strength coaches should go and spend time with these luchadors so that they can go back and teach their defensive linemen and offensive linemen how to move. Because these guys, these are big boys. They're very big boys. But yeah, really good, really great match of the night. Akuma gets the 1-2-3. It was also really nice at the beginning of the match. They shook hands, and yeah, you had a little bit of a strength test where like the one tried to pull the other, right? But then at the end of the match, they did, shake hands again, and both raised each other's hands up. So it was a very sportsmanlike, very honorable ending to the match. So it was, yeah, yep, loved it, loved it, loved it.
Loved it too. Agent Lo-Fi coming in with the thought. Glad they're finally getting behind Akuma more. They kind of stopped start there for a bit. Listen, we love our favorite zombie. Just say it. Well, one of our favorite like undead characters, if you will.
Right.
So good. I love it so much. But yeah, this was a great match. This was my match of the night easily for Genesis Spectacular, which is crazy because we get to the final match of the evening, which is what I am going to steal from Agent Lo-Fi, but our very typical Viernes Spectacular main event. So
Yes.
this
Yes.
was also very fun too. This was a Relevo Australiano match, which saw our técnicos of Atlantis Junior, Máscara Dorada, and the very, very Hollywood pretty Star Junior. I
Yes,
mean, look at the
sir.
picture. Am I wrong, bro? Like the lights, the
No.
hair,
Yeah,
those locks.
yeah.
I'm kind of
He's
jelly.
he's
Taking
ready for Telemundo, baby.
he's
He's ready for
ready for
Telemundo.
Telemundo. My twin brother. Anyways, and they are taking on the team of our Rudos? Yeah, Rudos is the way we're gonna call them.
Yup.
This is
Yup.
Hechicero, Ángel de Oro, and Niebla Roja, Los Hermanos Chavez, teaming up with the Alchemist of CMLL, Hechicero. This is a fun main event.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
Yes, I'm stealing catchphrases out here. Lo-fi, a proper send home the crowd happy main event.
yeah. Definitely. Again, I'm not gonna go through my notes because you had a lot of flying. I mean, especially with Star Junior, Masquerada, and Atlantis Junior in the match. You're gonna have a lot of flying. Hechicero was doing his thing. I will say that the Rudo team of Hechicero, Angel de Oro, and Niebla Roja were definitely acting more rudo tonight than I've seen them act in a while. They were doing a lot of like the single breaking the technical team up, singling them out, taking them on. Our first pinfall went to the Rudos, where they did exactly that. They were able to separate the technicos and beat on them. But they had a beautiful triple pin, which again was like it was almost synchronized. I don't know if they mean to do it or not, but it looked beautiful for that triple pin. So the first pinfall went to the Rudos. Um, the second pinfall, we had Atlantis Jr. Hitting a frog splash on Hechicero, and he got the pin on Hechicero. We did get Que Monito against Que Malito for a little unofficial shenanigans going on. Que Malito beat on Que Monito first. Que Monito was actually thrown into the barricade by Angel de Oro. But Que Monito came back. He ends up pinning Que Malito, which was a lot of fun. And then the last pinfall was almost an inverse of the first pinfall, where we had the technical team doing a double pin and submission, where you had Atlantis Junior making Hechicero submit, and then the other two pinning Angel de Oro Niebla Roja, to end the night with the technicals winning. Yep, made me feel good. I felt good. The good guys won. I'm ready to go home and face the week now.
Oh my goodness, we love to see it for sure. Like, so good. This was fun. I really enjoyed this. This was a send the crowd home happy
Yep.
main event for
Yep.
Viernes Espectacular. This was fantastic, but that does bring us to the end of Viernes Espectacular. A bit of a shorter episode, and the reason why is because we got a buttload of news to talk about that just dropped within the last week,
Yeah. Yup.
and
Yup.
some newer ones that Informa is also dropping very crazy. I'm just like,
And I just found literally when we were coming on, I just saw something that I don't think anyone really knows about yet. But go ahead, Mikey. Go ahead with your news.
all right, so we're gonna try to put this. We're gonna try to put this. We're gonna try to put this in best way that we can. So here we go. So we're gonna start off with the news that I do have, and then I'm dropping everything all simultaneously as well because see, Informa is giving us a bunch of stuff. So here we go. Starting with the first official thing. In 2 weeks' time, New Japan is having their next United States US show in Ontario, California on Friday, May 9th, which is which is the Resurgence. So there's going to be a whole bunch of matches. It's crazy. But I wanted to highlight this one because this does involve one of our CMLL talent who is the newest yeah, added to United Empire. But before that, let's talk about next week.
I was about to say, we do have a Viernes Espectacular coming up, so.
Forget that. All these news is more important. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously though, this is also going to be bananas. So to kind of go over everything, first and foremost, in our Primera Lucha, we have a tag team match which sees Shockercito and Galaxy taking on Mercurio and Full Metal. So that's going to be a fun one. In the Segunda Lucha, we have some Amazonas action finally after what seems to be a hot minute. We have Skadi, Kira, and India Sui taking on Zuxis, Hera, and Candela. Yes, I'm here for it. Then in the Tercera Lucha, we have a 3-on-3 trios match. So Volcano, Capitan Suicida, and Brillante Jr. taking on Hijo del Villano 3, Hijo de Stuka Jr., and El Comadre. So those three matches, they're going to be fun. But let's get into the craziness. First, en el Eliminatoria Campeonato Universal 2025, this is the Campeones de Peso Semi Completo. So this is our Campeón Mundial, Averno, versus our Campeón Histórico in Atlantis Jr. versus the Campeón Nacional and Esfinge. Oh my God, I'm not ready for this match.
That's going to be, that's, woo.
Be like,
Ciao.
child, girl. Oh, it's gonna be so good. And then the second elimination match that is happening this Friday for the Eliminatoria Campeonato Universal 2025, Campeones de Parejas. So this is Los Hermanos Chavez, Ángel de Oro y Niebla Roja, who are our campeones mundiales, taking on our campeones nacionales in Magnus and Y Rugido. That is also a match I'm not ready.
Yeah.
No, seriously, Agent Lo-Fi, these Fridays keep bringing bangers. Like,
right.
but then in your Lucha Estelar, the final match of the evening is another 3-on-3 match. I find these pairings very interesting, but like in the best way possible. Not necessarily for the Rudos, because the Rudos team makes sense. But on the technical side, it is Máscara Dorada leading the charge with Blue Panther and Neon to take on the team of Ultimo Guerrero, Stuka Jr., and Gran Guerrero. I'm here for it all.
I'm excited. This is going to be because we have this upcoming Friday. We actually are going to be with someone who has not seen Lucha Libre, and we're going to show him Lucha Libre. So I feel that this is a great card to have someone that's never seen Lucha Libre watch.
Man,
You got a little bit of everything going on.
Honestly, it's going to be great. Now, let's get into the news. So, as I was mentioning and leading into, the first bit of news that I have is that on Friday, May 9th, is New Japan's Resurgence. There's going to be a lot of fun match, but this match in particular I want to talk about because this sees our CMLL boy and Will's baby daddy of Templario teaming up with his United Empire stablemate TJP to take on the West Coast Wrecking Crew of Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaac for the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. Listen, I'm biased. I want to see TJP and Templario win these things, but who knows? But this is going to be a good match. I am so excited.
Yeah, especially after seeing Nelson and Isaac's this past Windy City Riot. I've never seen them before. This was my first experience. It's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a good match. I'm excited for it.
Oh, 100%. This is gonna be so good. But the next bit of news that I do have is that the next day on the 10th is MLW and CMLL's Azteca Lucha joint show, which I'm also excited for. So will Mystico go after the MLW World Heavyweight Championship? what is happening with the middleweight championship that he gave up at the Battle Riot? Which
Yep.
CMLL stars will we be seeing going up against some MLW star? Stay tuned for all that and more here on Los
Mhm.
Lobos de la Lucha.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
I'm excited.
No matches yet have been announced
No,
that I
but
know
watch.
of.
Next week they're gonna drop everything. It's gonna be crazy.
Although I am gonna inject my bit of news into this because it's actually uh it
Do it.
actually has something to do with this. So I just saw on the Instagrams that the Kick Demon Janai Kai is going to be fighting Reina Isis on May 2nd.
I know. I am so excited about that. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, we talked about the card before because that got dropped during an Informa too. Because we also talk about like Paul London taking on Neon, and I was like, interesting choice.
Right,
but
right.
but you know what? The more I see Paul London's crazy butt, like the more I love him. Like,
Yep.
oh my gosh, I love him. But speaking of which, let's talk about what was announced next, which literally dropped this morning. AEW is coming to Arena Mexico for Grand Slam Mexico Wednesday, June 18th. And I'm just like, oh
Yo,
lordy,
I have been asking for Will Ospreay in Arena Mexico,
we
and I'm
might get it.
and hopefully, if this card is to be believed, we're getting Will Ospreay in Arena Mexico. So I'm
Okay, but this is where it gets crazier too, because thanks to Agent Lo-Fi and the internet of CMLL, the night before, Martis is also going to have CMLL versus AEW and ROH stars.
in at
It-
Arena Mexico.
yes. So 2
Oh,
whole nights.
nice,
Well, looks like we might
nice.
need to watch
I have
the
to watch
Tuesday
that.
show.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Hey,
as if I didn't have
Coño,
enough wrestling to watch.
right?
Now, you mentioned Will Ospreay, right, in Arena Mexico. So, if CMLL wants to be really amazing at their job and actually follows like what their wrestlers say on the socials and also on interviews,
Mhm.
there's a certain wrestler, Mascara Dorada, has always said his dream match is versus Will Ospreay. CMLL, I need you to give me Mascara Dorada and Will Ospreay. I don't care. I mean, I want to see Mascara win, but I don't even care if he loses because that is like we are beyond a dream match. That is a wet dream match for me.
Yo, to quote Finn the Human, I don't think my little boy heart can take that. Wow. All right, we'll see.
I literally might cry.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I was not prepared. I was like, "Oh my gosh, CMLL, please do it. I want it to happen. Please, please, please let it happen." But then, of course, the final bit of news that I do want to talk about is what Agent Lo-Fi gave us the deets during the info about last week, but it is the official. We are getting CMLL and New Japan's Fantastica Mania Mexico 2025 on Friday, June 20th. We will be doing a live watch along. I have decided that. But Adolfo, are you ready for the even crazier stuff?
Sure.
This iteration of Fantastica Mania Mexico is getting more international because not
Okay.
only is it CMLL and New Japan, but
Mhm.
because all these promotions from around the world are continuing to work each other. They
Mhm.
just dropped on in Informa that besides CMLL and New Japan, Fantastica Mania Mexico 2025 will also have involvement from the New Japan Strong Dojos, Rev Pro UK Wrestling, and of course AEW and Ring of Honor,
Ooh.
along with
Wow.
CMLL and New Japan. I'm like, listen, if it's like a 5-hour show, I'm here for it. Like,
Right? Man. How oh, so good. Okay. I have inner voices that almost came out. Yeah, that week is
Dude,
so stacked. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Like, there's certain peoples on the wrestling on the wrestling internet, right? That are fans of a certain company, right? And they just like they tout it like that's the only thing to watch, and like if that's all you're watching, you're doing yourself a disservice because this is amazing. Amazing. So much, yes, it's so stacked. So much good wrestling. Oh man. Just yeah. Yeah. Ah, that's good. That's good. I'm excited for it.
I think I'm gonna I'm gonna put this out here now, and we're gonna revisit this in the time capsule. I'm gonna need Agent Lo-Fi and some other people to come check on us that week
Yeah, definitely.
because Lord have mercy, this is going to be great. Oh, I'm
Well,
so
what
ready for summer.
I need to be checked on this week because uh I will be flying out to California tomorrow. Tomorrow in the early PM, heading out there. So, because we have quite the week ahead of us. If you haven't been paying attention, um, we have GCW on tomorrow night,
Yep, Bloodsport.
which
So,
yep,
yeah.
literally
So to
getting off a plane to watch GCW. So
This
that'll be
is a
fun.
nutty couple of days. So, to
Yeah.
remind the folks at home, starting tomorrow and going all the way until the f- following week on Friday the 25th, we are not, well, we may or may not do a CMLL review next Wednesday, depending on how schedules go. But,
Maybe.
mm, well,
Maybe.
actually, no, I don't think so. Hold on, let me double check the calendar, y'all, because we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. I will double check as I give these announcements. So, starting tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pacific, as Adolfo said, he will literally be getting off a plane, being driven to my house, and then not even get an hour to himself because y'all are about to get hit with all the stuff. Because tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Pacific, we are starting with GCW's Bloodsport 13 watch along, where it'll be myself, Adolfo, and Minnie at my house. And we will also be joined virtually by Andrew. So the four of us are be taking care of that. Then the
Hmm.
following day on Friday, on Friday the 18th at 7 p.m. Pacific. We are back in the world of GCW, but this time for Joey Janela's Spring Break
Spring break.
9. We
Yup.
will not only get to see the best technical wrestler alive, Zack Sabre Jr., fight one called Manders, which I think is going to be a hard hitting match. We are also getting Sabu's retirement match against Joey Janela in a no rope barbed wire death massacre match. Don't know what that entails, but I'm excited for the violence. Then on the 19th, it is a double dose of watch alongs as we will be doing NXT Stand and Deliver at 10 a.m. Pacific, and then WrestleMania 41 Night 1 watch along at 4 p.m. Pacific. Then jumping into Sunday, it is going to be night 2 watch along of WrestleMania 41 at 4 p.m. Pacific. But don't touch that dial because then we kick things off with the reviews. On the 21st, we have double reviews. We have our NXT Stand and Deliver review at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And then at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, Adolfo, I, and Andrew will be, showing why we're called BC Wrestle Pod because we will be reviewing GCW's Effie's Big Gay Brunch 10. Listen, I
Excited.
need Zack Sabre Jr. is out here kissing all the boys. I'm excited to see what he does at Effie's Big Gay Brunch. Be like, ally or queer. I'm cool with either or. Then on Tuesday the 22nd, after I drop these weirdos off at the airport, it will be night 1 of WrestleMania review where it'll be myself, JVL Kilt, and after taking a brief hiatus, Jesse will be back on the docket to do that review. And then, unfortunately, Adolfo, we cannot do a CMLL review on Wednesday. I mean, you can, but I'm not going to be there
Hey.
because why? Because at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, we do have a WrestleMania Night 2 review But then at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, Andrew and I will be doing the Progress Vegas wrestling review for the Progress show in Vegas. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
L-
We'll see how with it I am.
I'm gonna be so completely honest. I wasn't planning on doing the Progress review, but after getting that little email from Progress itself telling us to keep up the good work, I was like,
No,
all
yeah.
right. And now I feel like we kind of have to. So there's that. We get a brief break because there's nothing going on the Thursday. Thank God. I need to decompress and prepare myself because things kicks off again because Friday the 25th, we end the 2 weeks of craziness with our TNA Unbreakable review where myself, Will, and our newest co-host, JT, will be reviewing TNA and also giving our predictions for TNA's pay-per-view happening 2 days later on the 27th in TNA Rebellion, which I get to go to. So I'm so excited. And so is Mama LaGuillo. She's coming with me. It's going to be fantastic.
And there's a Stardom show in there as well.
Yes. Also, with the stuff that we're not reviewing on the channel, we are also watching Stardom, more GCW shows. There's a GCW versus TJP versus like a whole bunch of shows. Like, it is wild out here with all the promotions. There's a lot of wrestling. Like,
going to happen.
And that's not even counting like all the regular shows that are happening too. Like,
Yeah.
Lord have mercy, it's gonna be crazy. Lord have mercy.
Ay, Dios mío.
Ay, Dios mío. Ay, papi. Oop, wrong thing. We'll be like, ooh, chavo. No, but in all honesty, I'm super excited to kick things off tomorrow. I'm excited to have Adolfo be here in person. It's not the first time we've been together in person, but now he's on my turf where I went to go visit him on the grounds of Jersey. But now he is coming to California himself, and I'm going to show him why the West Coast is the best coast. Just kidding. I love all my coasts very dearly, except for you, South, because you got some problems right now, except for Will, wherever he's living in Texas, because that's the only good part. I'm just kidding. No, but I'm super excited. It's going to be a fun weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend. I'm going to be complaining the whole entire time because I will be so tired. But honestly, it is going to be so worth it to bring all this stuff to everyone. But that is going to be it for us tonight on Los Lobos de la Lucha. Again, while we may not be doing a show next week, maybe. So I'm just saying, CMLL is just like, all right, we heard y'all can't do a review next week, but that's okay because we gonna give you a summer you can't forget. Literally, as soon in the next 2 weeks from May onwards, CMLL is going to be booked, blessed, and I am going to probably need to find a mask somewhere to buy because now I need one because I feel so empty without one now. Anyways, Adolfo, thank you so much for being here this evening. Thank you for holding it down with me for Los Lobos de la Lucha as always. And I cannot wait to give you big kisses all over the place tomorrow when I see you in person.
Yeah.
But that is going to be it for us here tonight, this evening. Me and Adolfo got to talk about some stuff afterwards, but we also got to get up on out of here. But thank you so much for tuning in. If Adolfo does not do a review next week, we will be back for sure in 2 weeks to talk about more Lucha Libre goodness from CMLL and prepare ourselves for, well, technically, that Viernes Espectacular on the 2nd is MLW versus CMLL. So that's going to be crazy to talk about. And then everything that happens in between. So from all of us here at Los Lobos de la Lucha and the BC Wrestle Pod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay biconic, and more importantly than anything, you deserve to finish your story. We will see you tomorrow to kick off WrestleMania Vegas Hell Week 2025 with our Bloodsport 13 watch along. But until then, sayonara, adios, and more importantly, take care of yourself and of others. We'll talk to you later. Ta-ta for now.